You play news anchor Peter Moosebridge in the movie. How did the role come to you?
It's kind of funny, actually. I didn't audition for it. I wasn't even aware it was happening. I was on my way on a news assignment at the airport. I was going through a security line at Pearson, and this fellow behind me in the line says, "You're Peter Mansbridge, right?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, I'm with Disney. I'm an executive with Disney. I was just in a meeting. We were talking about a role that we have upcoming in an animated feature, and we thought you'd be perfect to do the voice for it. And I'm thinking, yeah, sure, he's from Disney. This doesn't happen, security line at the airport. So we exchanged cards because everybody was in a rush, and sure enough, I got an email a little while later, and he was for real, and the offer was for real. And so we had to work out a few things, and we did, and there you go. I'm in Zootopia.
You said that the animators were trying to make Moosebridge as physically comparable to you. Do you think they succeeded?
Well, that's what they told me, that they needed pictures of me, and they were going to try and incorporate some of my features into this moose. Mm-hmm. I don't see it myself, but I take their word for it. Whatever it looked like, I was going to be happy with. It seems to have more hair than I do, so I figured they were very kind and gentle on that.
You've covered so many heavy-hitting topics in your career. You've received accolades. How does being in a Disney movie fit into all that?
Well, listen, it's an honor. Disney's, the Disney legacy is, everyone's aware of it. It's certainly aware of it in my family. After we'd arrived in Canada in the late 1950s from Britain, when we got our first television, one of the first shows we used to watch together as a family was Disney on Sunday nights. And so I think back to that experience, watching Disney on CBC from the earliest days to still today. So being a part of that now is pretty exciting. I look at my grandkids, which, for one of the reasons I did this was for them. They've never been that overly impressed by what I do in my real life.
They don't watch the National?
They don't watch the National, but when they heard about this, they thought I was a rock star. So that was pretty exciting to see how excited they were.
Yeah. Where did you record your lines?
I was supposed to record them in Hollywood, in California.
Okay.
But this happened once the election campaign was called here in Canada last summer. And I said, look, I can't get down there. I can't get away right now. And they said, okay, we'll kind of move L.A. to Toronto, which they did in the sense that we got a recording studio here, and they set up a video conferencing line with the producers and the director from Zootopia, who sat there, and they were like literally in the room because there were monitors set up, and they were listening to everything I'm doing. And that's the way they did it. So the experience was still there. I mean, to me, it wouldn't have made any difference if I'd been there, although I would have, met them personally. But I felt like I got to meet them close up too.
Awesome. And you had a lot of fun?
Yeah. I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, they were teasing me about, can you sound more Canadian? Can you say a boot or something?
Oh,
and
man.
I said, we don't really say a boot.
I know. I don't know why they think that.
No, but they certainly think it.
Would you reprise your role then? Zootopia 2?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a series of continuing movies. The Moosebridge 1.
Yes.
Son of Moosebridge.
Yes, I like that. I like that.
You've seen it. It's a very small role. Important role.
But it's important.
Kind of linked to the story. But I'm happy to be able to say that I'm now part of the Disney legacy based on my appearance in Zootopia.
Awesome. What has been the best part of being a part of the Disney family?
I think seeing the excitement on the eyes of my grandkids. That's really been a big deal.
Awesome. And one last question. I know you're a fan of Disney. You said that already. What's your favorite Disney movie?
I hate to date myself. I mean, there've been so many, but when I think of my favorite, it's the one that kind of impacted me the most, and I go back to the early days, and Bambi and Thumper and all that. It was really, had a big impression on me.
For sure. I love
so
that.
I'd say those, but there's so many others that you could name as well, and more recent ones as well.
Okay. Thank you, Peter, so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you.